Few figures in sports carry the same mix of awe and scandal as Tonya Harding. To some, she's the fearless skater who shattered barriers with her triple axel. To others, she's forever tied to one of the most shocking moments in Olympic history. But at 54 years old, Tonya is finally breaking her silence, revealing the truth about that night that stunned the world. What really happened? Was she a victim, a villain, or something in between? Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this. Tonya Maxine Harding was born on November 12, 1970, in Portland, Oregon. Her childhood was anything but easy. Money was tight, and her family struggled to make ends meet. Her father, Albert Harding, juggled jobs, truck driving, managing apartments, even running a bait and tackle shop, but poor health kept him from steady work. Her mother, Lavona Golden, worked as a waitress and sewed Tonya's skating costumes by hand because they could not afford the expensive ones. Behind closed doors, life was far harsher. Tonya later revealed that her mother was physically and emotionally abusive, even admitting once to striking her at a roller skating rink. The film Tonya would later dramatize these events, though many close to Tonya insist reality was already brutal enough. For young Tonya, skating was not just a sport, it was an escape. By age 3, she was already on the ice with her first coach, Diane Rawlinson. Skating became her refuge from the chaos at home. But Tonya was not just an athlete. Off the rink, she learned auto mechanics with her dad, went hunting, and even took part in drag racing. When her parents divorced in 1987, Tonya Harding made a bold decision. She dropped out of high school to pursue skating full-time, the one arena where she felt she could escape the chaos of her home life. Though she later earned her GED in 1988, by then her path was clear, her focus was fixed on Olympic glory. Through the 1980s, Tonya climbed the ranks of American figure skating with grit and determination. In 1986, she placed 6th at the U.S. Championships. She improved to 5th in both 1987 and 1988, and by 1989 she cracked the podium, finishing 3rd. That same year she captured the title at Skate America, proving she was more than an underdog, she was a serious contender. Her career-defining breakthrough came in 1991. At the U.S. Championships, Tonya achieved the unthinkable. She became the first American woman ever to land a triple axel in competition, a jump so difficult that few dared to attempt it. Her momentum carried into the World Championships, where she again landed the triple axel, finishing 2nd behind Christy Yamaguchi and ahead of Nancy Kerrigan. Then, at Skate America later that year, she raised the bar even higher, becoming the first woman to land to triple axels in one competition, including one in combination. By all accounts, Tonya Harding had secured her place in figure skating history, yet behind the triumphs, her personal life was unraveling. In her autobiography, The Tonya Tapes, she revealed that her half-brother Chris Davidson had tormented her for years. Even when she reported him to police in 1986, her own parents dismissed her cries for help, an early glimpse of the darkness she carried beneath the spotlight. Then, in 1988, Davidson was killed in a hit-and-run accident that remains unsolved. For most families, that loss would have been devastating, but Tonya's feelings were conflicted. In a 1994 interview, she admitted Davidson was the only person she truly hated and the only one she never forgave. On January 6, 1994, in Detroit's Cobo Arena, reigning U.S. champion Nancy Kerrigan had just finished practice when a man ambushed her in a corridor. With a 21-inch telescopic baton, Shane Stant struck her on the right knee, dropping her to the ground. Cameras captured the aftermath, Nancy clutching her leg and screaming the haunting words, "Why me?" Within hours, the story was everywhere. Stant had not acted alone. He was hired by Tonya Harding's ex-husband Jeff Gillooly and her bodyguard Sean Eckert. Their plan was simple but sinister: injure Kerrigan, so Tonya would have a clearer path to Olympic glory. Though the attack did not break Kerrigan's leg, it forced her to withdraw from the national championships. Just 2 days later, Tonya Harding won the title. Both women, however, were chosen to represent the U.S. at the Winter Olympics in Lillehammer. Suddenly, figure skating, a sport known for elegance, and Grace was entangled in crime, betrayal, and worldwide scandal. In the days after the attack, all eyes turned to Tonya. On January 11th, she gave a televised interview in Portland. Asked if someone close to her could have been involved, Tonya hesitated and then admitted, "I have definitely thought about it." Meanwhile, arrests came swiftly. Eckert, Stant, and Stant's uncle Derek Smith were all taken into custody. The walls were closing in. By mid-January, suspicion mounted that Harding herself had known more than she admitted. Still, she denied everything, holding press conferences and continuing to train publicly. Cameras followed her everywhere, even into shopping malls where she practiced before curious crowds. But on January 18th, during a grueling 10-hour interrogation with the FBI and district attorney, Tonya cracked. After hours of denial, she finally admitted that her ex-husband was involved. Her words were, "I know now Jeff is involved. I'm sorry." The very next day, Gillooly surrendered to the FBI. The scandal was no longer speculation, it was a criminal case. Gillooly and Eckert both pleaded guilty to racketeering, receiving prison sentences. Stant and Smith pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit assault. As for Tonya Harding, she maintained she never planned the attack, but admitted she failed to report what she knew afterward. Still, the U.S. Figure Skating Association, USFSA, did not suspend her immediately, allowing her to compete in the Olympics. By February, Tonya and Nancy were both in Norway, the tension between them fueling a media circus unlike anything the sport had seen. When the two women practiced on the same ice for the first time at the Hamar Olympic Amphitheater, nearly 400 journalists packed the arena. Nancy Kerrigan made a statement without saying a word, wearing the same white costume she had on when she was attacked. On February 23, 1994, millions tuned in for the women's short program. Then, disaster struck. Tonya broke a skate lace mid-routine, stopping the performance in tears and begging the judges for another chance. They allowed it, but the damage was done. She finished 8th. Nancy Kerrigan remarkably recovered, skated brilliantly, and won silver, just behind Ukraine's Oksana Bayul. Tonya's Olympic dream had become a nightmare played out live on the world stage. On March 16, 1994, Tonya Harding pleaded guilty to conspiracy to hinder prosecution. She avoided prison but received 3 years of probation, 500 hours of community service, a $100,000 fine, and most devastatingly a lifetime ban from the USFSA. Her titles were stripped. With skating gone, Tonya's life took strange turns. A leaked home video of her and Gillooly in 1994 added to her infamy. She dabbled in entertainment, appearing in wrestling events in Portland, trying to start a band called the Golden Blades, even acting in a low-budget film titled Breakaway. She popped up on reality TV shows like The Weakest Link, and later worked as a commentator on World's Dumbest. She also took on everyday jobs: welder, painter, Sears clerk. But her most surprising pivot came in 2002, boxing. She first won a celebrity match against Paula Jones, then briefly turned professional, ending her short career with 3 wins and 3 losses. Crowds often booed her, but she kept fighting. As years passed, the scandal refused to die. TV specials revisited it in 1998, with Harding, Kerrigan, and even Gillooly, now renamed Jeff Stone, sharing their sides. Harding continued to deny prior knowledge of the attack. While Gillooly admitted his guilt, but insisted Harding was not fully involved. By the 2000s, Harding began speaking more openly. By 2014, even Nancy Kerrigan softened. In an interview with Bob Costas, she said she had accepted Tonya's apologies and wanted both of them to move forward with their lives. Tonya Harding's story is a whirlwind, rising from poverty to become the first American woman to land a triple axel, only to fall in one of the most notorious scandals in sports. Was she a victim of abuse and manipulation, or an accomplice in a shocking crime? The truth lies in the gray areas. What's certain is that Tonya Harding will never be forgotten, her name etched in both triumph and scandal. A skater, a survivor, and a cultural phenomenon, her story shows how fast fame can turn. If you found this journey compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories behind the headlines. Thanks for watching. Asterisk.